This week's question is one of those questions you might say is a little stupid, but personally, I've wasted plenty of time through trying to troubleshoot something that's just as dumb as this. And so ultimately, you're probably not going to learn something new today as much as you're going to be reminded by something that's really important to remember. And it's in one of those type of situations that you're probably not writing it on a daily basis. And so when you do encounter it once a month or whatever the frequency is, it might really come back to bite you in the butt. And that's our goal, is to help you become proficient and powerful in Adobe Commerce or Magento 2 development, as powerful as you possibly can be. And actually, to that end, we have developed a whole bunch of courses helping you achieve different certifications, primarily focusing on the professional level certification and the expert level certifications for Adobe Commerce. SwiftOtter.com. We have a whole bunch of information there that can help you get certified and really up your game here in Adobe Commerce. Now, let's check out the question and the answers, and then we will look at the code to see what is the correct answer for this week's knowledge bite. Check it out here. You need to move a layout block from a container into a block after writing the following code. What do you need to do next to get it displayed? We have remove element, etc., etc. You've probably already seen this code. Now, let's look at several of the answers. A, there is nothing else necessary for the block to display. It's rendered by the container, and after being moved, it will display as expected in the new parent. Now, one thing to remember here is there could be a case to be made for adding a cache flush in there, depending on your development environment. That might be important to do. That's not part of this conversation here just because it's not part of the question, but it might be something to think about. All right, let's move on to B. You have to rebuild the static content. Now, this one just seems a little bit suspect to me. Why? Because HTML or XML and PHTML templates or files are not static content. Static content is less and JavaScript files. So I think we can pretty much axe B right here out of the gate. Now, what about C? You need to add a getChildHtml call to the otter-block template. That also seems reasonable. So I think we're pretty much down to a 50-50 on this one. And we should probably jump into the code and see what this is looking like there. All right, so we have in our code, we have our move element right here. I just put all this into the same file just to make it a little bit easier to see. We have our otter-block-parent, and then I just pitched it into this one. It's technically not a container, but we're going to get the same net result. I created these two files here, the child and the parent, well named, good content inside of them, as you can see there. It's pretty obvious what each one is doing. So let's take a look at our HTML file here, and we can see it looks like this. We see just parent PHTML file. We don't see child PHTML temp file, which we should see it right here. So what do we need to do? I'm going to propose that we need to take a look here. Let's just try this. And for the record, I've already basically done A because, you might argue, oopsie, actually I need to do the equal sign here. You would, because I have all my caches disabled. So A, it wasn't working. I just proved that to you. So now we're basically down to C as the correct answer. Based off of process of elimination, we're going to refresh this page. And now we see child PHTML file. So why does this work? What's going on here? Well, inside of a template file, there is no default or automatic rendering mechanism outside of what we add to that file. And that's where this getChildHtml. Now, we could add the name of the child block we want to render. That's perfectly legitimate as well. In this case, I'm not doing that. I know we have only one block in there. I don't need to be selective, so I'm just rendering everything. Ultimately, we can put a parameter in there like the answer does have, otter-block-child, and this would work as well. As we can see, it continues to be rendered right there. So either way, it works fine. And this is where it can be a gotcha. So containers automatically render their children. However, blocks do not. In blocks, we have to call getChildHtml. It makes sense. It's an HTML file. We have specified everything to go in there. And without actually saying where we want it to be rendered in this PHTML template, it's not going to get rendered. So there is your answer for this week. I hope you found that helpful. Hope this saved you a few minutes here in the upcoming months. It's just this important memory thing that'll help you be a better developer.